organized with your equipment is one of the most crucial things if you run a video production company or a freelance videographer, photographer, anything involving camera gear. It's so important. Not only does it save you time on set, increasing your efficiency, it also prevents gear from getting broken as often and leaves a great impression on your clients. My name's Austin and I help run a video production company based out of Omaha, Nebraska called Glory Visuals. We've been doing this full time for just about 6 years now, and we've learned a lot of things along the way. Now, a couple things to keep in mind before I get into this video. Number one, I'm not trying to tell you that this is the best way of organizing your gear, but hopefully through watching videos like this, you can get an idea of how you want to organize your gear so that you can be as efficient as you can be. Secondly, our use case may be different than yours. We primarily focus right now on corporate and commercial filmmaking, which means that most of our projects require us to set up an interview, light it nicely, get good, clean audio, and then schedule some time in to shoot some cinematic B-roll. Some of our projects in the commercial space require a little bit more gear, a little bit more time on the pre-production side. But I wanted to give you an idea first and foremost of what we typically are shooting, because that has such a massive implication on how you organize your gear and the way that you operate as a company. There's no one size fits all in this business. Everybody's different. Everyone's client base is different. Our channel is focused on helping those small to medium-sized video production companies who do a lot of corporate work gain knowledge in some of the things that we've learned in the past 6 years of trial and error, of making mistakes, of showing up to set, realizing that we forgot something important. So we want to help save you from that pain and help you learn beforehand so that you never have to make some of those mistakes that we did. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to be walking you through how we structure our cases, how we organize our gear. And I want to touch on one very important thing. Every piece of camera gear that we own and take onto a set for a video production is housed in Pelican cases. Why Pelican cases? There's two main reasons that we love and use the Pelican line of cases. Aside from their durability, shockproof, waterproof, crushproof, all of those things, there's two things that set them apart from other companies. And I'm gonna be talking specifically about the Pelican 1510. Now we do have other Pelican cases like from their Vault series that we use for our audio kit, which I'll walk you through. The Pelican 1510 really is the core of our equipment and how it's structured. And the reason for that is, number one, we have lid organizers in every Pelican. These provide multiple pockets that you can store little odds and ends, batteries, things like that, rather than just having your whole lid taken up by foam, or with SKB or other companies' offerings, having a little bit bulkier pockets that you can't fit as much stuff in. Our thought process is how many things can we fit into a Pelican 1510. Now the Pelican 1510 is special because it's the biggest case you can take on any airplane. So if you travel ever, the 1510 is gonna be your best friend. We've brought these things on every size plane you can imagine, from giant Boeing jets to little puddle jumpers going to the middle of nowhere, New Mexico on a shoot, and we've never had an issue. Of course, we've had TSA agents try to tell us, oh, you can't bring that on the plane, it's too big. Every single time, it fits in the overhead bins. When you're traveling with 10 pounds of lithium batteries, you cannot check those batteries. They cannot go in the cargo bay of a plane. You have to carry them on with you. And the Pelican 1510 is the best way to do that. The second reason that we choose Pelican's brand of cases is their TrekPak system. In the past, we've used pick and pluck foam, padded dividers, and now we use TrekPak. The TrekPak system is the most efficient way to pack your gear inside a hard case. The walls are thin but padded and sturdy. They're easy to customize. You can rearrange things at any given time. At this point, we have a case that's just full of TrekPak pieces of any length and size that we would need, so that when we add a piece of gear or want to switch things around, we already have extra that we can throw in, change, cut down, and make our cases fit our current needs as a company. As video production companies or as freelance videographers, your gear is always changing. The way that you do things is always changing and evolving, and you want a system that's gonna keep up with that. Again, I can't recommend Pelican enough for those two reasons, for the TrekPak divider system and for their lid organizers, specifically for the 1510. Again, if you're ever going to be traveling, I would recommend the 1510. So what's the thought process behind organizing your equipment? What do you put into each case if you have multiple? Organizing your gear based on the level of project, helps you know exactly which cases to grab. And a lot of the times for us, we're training interns or we have part-time people on staff, and the ability to say, hey, go grab these 3 cases because we know this is a level 3 shoot is invaluable. It saves us time, we don't have to do as much training, and everyone knows where things go. So in our current realm of production, and I'm not gonna cover lights, this is just camera gear. Lights have their own bags, as you can see behind me. We're not gonna worry about that right now, but camera gear specific, we have 3 levels of productions that we do. Level 1 would be your typical B-roll shoot. You don't need audio, all you need is a camera or 2, some lenses, enough batteries, and SD cards to get you through the shoot. Level 2 is a step beyond that. If you need any audio, if you need drone, if you're doing an extended shoot where you need additional batteries that won't fit into the level 1 case. And then level 3, this is your higher budget, commercial work where you're needing wireless follow focus, you need wireless monitoring, you need all of this extra stuff. You need rails for the camera so that you can mount the follow focus gears. I don't personally use rails unless I'm using follow focus gears, so why would I put that in the level 1 case when it's only something that I need on a level 3 project? And then finally is our audio case. That's something that is kind of a la carte. If we need audio, bring the audio case. If we don't need audio, leave it at the studio. All right, hopefully now you're ready to see some gear, but I just wanted to walk you through the thought process because it's so important to think through the way that you're organizing things. All right, let's get into it without further ado. Case number 1, this would be for our quote unquote level 1 shoots. Let's check it out. Okay, so this is our level 1 case, and this has everything we need if we're just shooting B-roll, no audio, we're just showing up and catching some clips. As you can see here, we've got the TrekPak dividers. Another cool thing that we just implemented is these really cool labels from CamCrew. I'll put a link in the description, but they're essentially just little aluminum tags with the U-hooks that you put through into the TrekPak, you know, kind of squares here that help you tie everything together. You can put labels on them so that you never have to second guess what goes where. So as you can see, we have everything labeled out here, so it's never a question of where things go. In this kit, we've got FX30, FX3, FX6. These are our 3 primary cameras that we use for video on a daily basis. We've got a 7-inch monitor for the FX6. We've got a 6-inch monitor. These are both from FeelWorld, or the FX3. And the FX30, if we need to run a monitor, typically we're not doing 3 camera shoots. A lot of the times it's only 2 cameras or 1 camera. But if we need that extra body, it's in this case just because that's where all the accessories, batteries, and all of that stuff live. Obviously, you only have 2 lenses here, so you would need a 3rd lens, which I'll show you in the level 2 case. But for everything that's just 1 or 2 cameras and some lenses, this case has you covered. We've got our 24-70 from Sony, our 24-70 from Sigma. We have 2 V-mount batteries for the FX6. Over here, we've got these new batteries from Small Rig. We have 2 of these. These actually are our new power solution for the FX3 and FX30. Underneath those, you have our FX6 top handle, which is a pain to figure out where to put because it's so awkwardly shaped. Actually had to unscrew the mic mount, which we really never use, to get it to fit properly in here. But we've got that. Air blower so you can clean out your gear, and we'll put these V-mounts back here. Over here we've got our monitor arms. So we've got this little cold shoe arm. That is for the 6-inch monitor to mount on top of the FX3. And then here we've got our wooden camera magic arm with the Small Rig Hawk Lock. I'll do a whole video on Hawk Lock, but it's a really cool system. It has these little quick release little pins. So you just snap it in there, you're connected, you take the monitor, snap it in there, you're good to go. And you can adjust this and move it around just like a magic arm. Again, I'll do a whole video on that. Don't want to get too in depth here, but monitor arms go right in here. So as you can see already in the bottom, we got an SD card case here. You can fit so much more with this setup than you could with pick and pluck foam especially, but even the padded dividers, there's really not this level of efficiency that you can get because they're a little bit thicker, and every single divider that you put in is gonna add thickness. There's just no way I could have fit all of this gear with any other system out there. Okay, let's move into the lid organizer. Now these are really great, and I've seen some from other companies like SKB, and I'm sure they're fine, but looking at them, I know I cannot fit the same amount of stuff in them, and everything that we do, again, is about how much can we fit in a single case so that we're bringing as few cases as possible onto set, or if we're loading up our cart, that just means we can bring more gear in fewer trips and be that much more efficient. Walking through the lid organizer here, on the right side, we've got 2 more of these Small Rig VB50, and we found, I did a test using these, and I'll do a video all breaking down the FX3 rig, but the FX3 and a 6-inch monitor, But with the FX3 and a 6-inch monitor, one of these batteries will power it for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So 4 of these should get us through a full day of shooting, even if we're leaving the camera on all day long. So we went with 4 of these in this main kit, and then we have extra V mounts in our level 2 kit. Again, if we're doing an extended shoot, a full day, or don't have time to charge, things like that, we have more V mounts in another case. Up in this pocket, we have all of the cables for the FX3, and all of these pockets are labeled here on the back. You can't really see it in this angle, but I just stuck a label to the actual backing for these pockets, so that way everybody knows where things go. So in this case, in this pocket, we've got all of our cables for our FX3 and FX30, and then we have 2 of these V-mount plates from Small Rig that the cameras just slide into using the Arca Swiss plate on the bottom of the Small Rig cages. These are super compact, so we can fit them in one of these pockets. If we were using another battery solution, we wouldn't be able to fit everything in this pocket. So that's really important here. Can't stress that enough. So we've got 2 of those and all of the cables for both of these cameras. So everything's kind of separated into which camera does this go to. All of the cables for these cameras are in that one pocket. In this pocket, we've got our Sony FX6 tilt screen. So we just kind of fold that up as flat as we can and stick that in there. In this pocket down here, we have our top handles. So these are for the FX3 and FX30. So in this little pocket, we can fit both top handles that we need for these 2 cameras. So everything you need for those 2 cameras are really kind of in this center column of pockets here. And then in this bottom left pocket are all the cables for the FX6. So we've got our coiled SDI cable. This is from Wooden Camera. Really love this one. It's very durable, has never cut out on us. Love that. We've got our connector cable for our monitor, which is just a D-tap to barrel. We've got our little Small Rig multi-tool. These are great to have in every case, honestly, if you can fit it. Having something with all your different hex keys, a couple different screwdriver options, flathead, Phillips, being able to re-rig things, it's just really handy, nice to have. In here we've got headphones, we have our Sprig. This is a cable management system that just screws into 1/4 20s, and then you can route cables through it to help keep things tidy. Love keeping things tidy. We've got an XLR to 3.5mm adapter. This is for the Rode newscaster system that we use on most of our shoots. For our shotgun mic, we plug this bad boy into the XLR top handle, and then we run the 3.5mm jack from the receiver straight into that. We get great audio quality that way. Love that system. We've got headphones in here, which we use often, and that's pretty much it. So that's it for the level 1 case. Let's check out the level 2 case. A good chunk of this case is V-mount batteries. As you can see, we have the Cam Crew labels here, labeling everything, how many of these Core 150s go in this pocket. We've got the Nano Slims over here. So V-mounts, got the Nano Slim 98s from Core. We have the Neo 150s from Core. In here we have our DJI mic. So if we need to do any audio, but we don't need the boom pole, we don't need a shotgun mic, we're just doing, run and gun social media content that a DJI mic is suitable for. You just have that in here. And then all of our extra lenses. So we've got a 24 to 105 from Sony. We've got a 50mm Sigma, 85mm Sigma, and then this really cool 15mm zero distortion lens from Laowa, which is really great. Love using this on real estate, tons of different things. It's just fun. It's very, very wide, but the zero distortion is really nice. In this pocket, we've got our backup monitor. So this is just if one dies or if we need to run 3 cameras, we have a 3rd monitor in here. This is the Small HD Action 5. Not in love with this monitor by any means, but it gets the job done if you need a spare. We've got some NPF batteries. These are from Power Extra. So I like these because they've got a battery level indicator on the top, they've got USB power, and then they also have a barrel output. So if you need to power a monitor or something like that. If you need to use these as a portable power bank to charge your phone, you can do that. They're just great to have. Over here we've got our DJI Air 2S drone. Great drone for the size and weight. Would love to upgrade to the Mavic 3 Pro at some point, but this gets the job done. Over here we've got the DJI RC, and that's it for the bottom. Going into the lid organizer now. Over here we've got a bag with all of our cables for the DJI mics, all of our little fluffy windscreens, lavaliers, things like that. So those are both in the same case, so if we ever need the DJI mic system, we've got that. Another air blower, gotta have those. Keep your gear clean, folks. Down here, we've got just extra spots for DJI drone batteries. So we have 3, 4 in the drone, plus 2, so we can bring 6. You can actually fit a third in here. So we could take up to 7 drone batteries onto set with us. This pocket up here is perfect if you're a Sony shooter for the MPF-Z 100 batteries. You can fit 18 of these up in this top pocket right here. For whatever reason, they fit best in this top middle pocket. It just has the most space for them. Down here, we've got an additional SD card case for backup SD cards. We've got our mist filter, some lens wipes, business cards, just kind of some random stuff. Have some extra room if we need to add a little piece of something here, but that's just kind of backup stuff. And then up here, we have spare cables, more lens wipes. This is extra. So we've got extra monitor power cables, extra SDI cables, extra HDMI cables, extra drone propellers. So this is just kind of the extras pocket of things that if it breaks on set or goes out, if a cable cuts out, we know where to go to get extras. All right, so that's the level 2 case. Let's go ahead and check out level 3. All right, this case is a little sad. This was the last case that we added to the collection, or the most recent case, but you know, we got some stickers, but we got some room to go. So this case really is for those shoots that we need wireless, whether it's wireless video, wireless focus pulling, or a combination of both. Obviously, if you're doing wireless focus pulling, you need wireless video. So typically they go hand in hand, but this is everything that we would need to support a bigger level of production, a commercial, something where we're having a director's monitor or a client monitor on set. So let's walk through this really quickly. Over here, we've got more V-mount batteries. These kind of are set aside, power our OC Megamon monitor that I'm using as a reference monitor right now. For that, 4 of these really gets us through a full day. In this pocket, we've got our TrekPak Bolt 6 LT750. We've got our transmitter, our receiver, and then all of the cables necessary to power both of those are also in this pocket. So that way, everything that you need for the TrekPak system is right here in this pocket. We've got our Nucleus M, our fizz, our motor, charger for the batteries for the fizz. We've got 2 more Fuel World LUT 7S monitors. These are great for focus puller monitors, for director's monitors. They honestly have really good color accuracy straight out of the box. Every time I get back the footage, I'm like, this looks just like what I was seeing on the monitor. So for a cheap monitor, I would highly recommend them, but this is what we use if we're doing wireless and not using the Megamon. We want to walk around with it, have a little bit more portable setup. And then over here, we've got our side handles. So if we're doing a portable director's monitor setup, just slide these bad boys on, lock them down, do the other one, and now you've got a nice compact director's monitor setup. In this pocket also is just the motor gear that comes from Tilta, just in case we need it. Typically we wouldn't. Over here we've got a slot for different magic arms. These are all using the small rig Hawk Lock system for quick release. I hate screwing things in and out of cheese plates, honestly, so the ability to just push these on, pop them on, they're attached, pop them off, makes your setup and tear down quicker. If you need to change setups, makes that quicker too. We've got some of these to mount the TrekPak to the camera, and then the receiver to the monitor itself. So that's all right there. In this pocket, we just have kind of some odds and ends. So we've got a sun hood for the monitor, we've got a tilt arm for the monitor, another tilt arm for the monitor, a little adapter you can screw onto a light stand that has a cold shoe mount if you wanted to put the director's monitor on a tilt arm and then put it on a C-stand. We've got an AC power for the TrekPak, and then really the most important thing in this pocket is the rails system and our base plate. Again, this is from Small Rig. It's just an Arca Swiss to 15mm rod base. So this we would use if we're doing any sort of remote focus pulling. This can mount directly to our Steadicam. So this is what we use this for. And then the lid organizer, over here we've got more MPF batteries, just needed a spot to put them, and that made sense. This pocket can hold 3 of those. Down here we have our cables for the Nucleus for the focus motor, and then the strap for the fizz. Down here this pocket's empty, got some extra room to put stuff. Up here is just odds and ends, different mounting options. We've got NATO rails, we've got more Hawk Lock accessories. We've got this neat cold shoe monitor mount with the Hawk Lock, so if you wanted to just pop the monitor on, pop it back off. Extra Hawk Lock base plate, so they sell these just as a little plate with an RE locating pin, so you can screw these onto anything and attach really anything to anything else in an instant. So these are super nice. I love this system. I think it's really great. We've got extra HDMI cables, HDMI cable locks for the monitors, screw kit. This came in handy on multiple occasions. This is just a kit you can buy on Amazon for like 10 bucks, and it has a bunch of different sizes of screws. It's just nice to have these things. Up here, this is just full of extra HDMI cables. They go bad, so having extras is always nice. And that's it. That's our level 3 case for when we need the wireless. Before we close out, I'll real quickly just walk you through our audio case. This is something that we recently added. We were putting everything in a 1510, but the boom pole doesn't fit, and so now we found a case that fits everything, which we prefer. So let's walk through that real quickly before we close out the video. This is the Vault V1700 from Pelican. I believe it's actually a firearms case, but it works equally well as a boom audio case. The one thing I didn't really love about this case is that it does not come with pick and pluck foam. So you will need to cut your foam custom if you're planning on buying a case like this. But it took me, an hour or two to cut out all the foam, trace around all the pieces, and get it cut. It doesn't look perfect, but it keeps the gear safe, and it's one easy place to keep all of our audio gear. So in this case, we've got our boom pole. This is from K-Tech. This is the KE110CCR. I like this boom pole because it has an integrated cable. In this pocket, we've got our primary microphone that we use on most of our sets. This is the Rode NTG3. And then as a backup, down here, we have the trusty old NTG2. I am gonna be doing a video on these two compared. So if you're looking for a shotgun mic and wondering whether it's worth the extra money to spend on the NTG3, stay tuned for that video, hit the bell to be notified as we drop new content, but that is a video I'm planning on making so you can really hear the difference between these two mics. They're very similar. This one's a little bit more expensive. This one sounds better in my experience, but again, I wanna do a side-by-side comparison to really see what the difference in sound quality is. But we've got two mics. If we wanna run one on camera and one on a boom pole, we can do so. Over here, we've got our Tascam DR100 Mark III. This is a great audio recorder. If you do weddings, this is fantastic because it's great for plugging into the DJ board, recording your speeches, things like that. But we use this every once in a while just to record clean audio in and then sync it in post. But lately we've been using the Rode Newscaster system a lot more because you don't have to sync it. The sound quality is still fantastic. There's been no noise, no latency. We really have had zero issues with this system. And then over here, we've just got a big pocket full of odds and ends. We've got just little coiled audio cables to plug in all of these things to cameras and things like that. We've got these little battery cases that can fit AA's or AAA's that we use for each of these systems. We've got right angle XLR adapters for if we want to run on-camera audio into a shotgun mic on the camera, XLR cables, and then our blimp dead cat. These are the things that we use to capture audio. I'm sure a lot of you have different setups, but this is what we found works for us. So that's our audio case. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps up this video. Thanks so much for watching if you made it this far. If you have any ideas for how to improve this system or let us know what you do to manage your gear and organize your equipment, let us know in the comment section down below. We love hearing from other creators, learning from other people, and we're always trying to get better, totally open to feedback. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and coming along in the journey with us as we build this channel from the ground up and offer the insights that we've learned over the last 6 years. That's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. Cheers.